today's webinar.
All right, we're recording now.
All right, excellent. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope everybody are safe today. And today we're gonna present you our monthly webinar. Today we're gonna talk about SAP Business One and mobile apps. Basically, we wanna share with you how the mobile apps are working. What are the mobile apps available out of the box for SAP Business One? I think it's the right time to talk about it. My name is Oren. I'm the president and the owner of Pioneer B1, and I'm very happy to present today with Sarah.
Thanks, Oren. Like I said, thanks for joining us today. I've been involved in a few different mobile implementations, and I'm really looking forward to showing you guys the different options that are available and how they can benefit your users.
And through the session today, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. We ask everybody to put themselves on mute just so we have a good audio today. But as you have questions through the webinar, please feel free to type them in the chat. We'll try to answer as best as we can. And again, please try to put yourself on mute if possible. All right, next slide is basically our objective. Our objective today is to get you familiar with the apps available out of the box with your SAP Business One, to help you with understanding what's available, what's not, what's the configuration or customization level available, and what are the limitations, so you can see if it's going to be a good fit for your company.
So for the agenda today, we're going to cover the importance of mobile functionality in today's business world, the 3 different mobile applications SAP provides for Business One, what is needed to get you up and running on the application, the highlights of the sales and service apps. We'll do a deep dive into the Business One app functionality and cover some of the reporting and dashboards that are available out of the box. We'll discuss some different customization options you'll have available. We'll review where you can download these apps to your phone and play around with the demo environment and cover some of the pricing. We'll share some links to documentation that we have available, and if we have time at the end, we'll have our Q&A session.
Excellent. So we start with business and mobility. Past few years or more, we are in the world of mobility and getting used to apps and working with smart devices and things of that nature. And this is where SAP actually created a similar experience for end users to have an app that will help you connect to main areas of the ERP. It's not a full functionality of the application or SAP, but it does provide you a lot of the basics. For example, visibility of customers and their transactions, inventory availability and price list, alerts, approvals, even the ability to create some transactions, sales orders, sales quotations from the app. So we're going to go through all of that today. I think today more than ever, it's important to have tools for remote work. People are on the go and need an easy-to-use app in order to access different data. So we hope we are able to demonstrate today everything comes from SAP. Now, there are some apps that are not provided by SAP and provide additional functionality and more customization options. But today we're going to focus only on the standard apps coming from SAP. So basically, there are 3 apps available. The one at the bottom, the Business One application, is the main one that is available to all clients, SQL and HANA. There are 2 apps that right now available only for HANA. It's on the roadmap to have them available to SQL clients as well. And we are looking at Sales App and Service App. The Sales App is really geared towards sales employees that are on the field, manage sales opportunity, look at their KPIs, being able to post sales orders and track their own sales orders, review clients and items and things of that nature. The dedicated Service App is really for technicians on the road, being able to receive their service calls, being able to take notes, take pictures and things of that nature, and interact with the service module of SAP Business One. The Business One generic application covered both of those, or the majority of the functionality of each one of those.
So now we're going to take a look at the 3 different areas that are involved in the installation. So the first one's going to be the integration framework. So this is going to include the installation of the B1IF. This allows the server in the database to communicate to the mobile application. The second area here are going to be your licenses and certificates. So this can include any additional licenses that have to be added for new mobile users. The certificate is required for security purposes, and this can be generated either through SAP or from a third-party vendor such as GoDaddy. The last area are going to be your customizations. So this can include creating new authorization groups for sales mobile users or service mobile users, and also could include adding a VPN to the user's devices to ensure an additional layer of security. So now we're going to take a closer look at the B1 service and sales applications. So I'm going to switch over here first to the service application. So after logging in, you're going to see at the top you have an option for both your tickets and your KPIs. And at the top here, I can actually filter in by status or priority. So I'm going to look at all of my open tickets. Here I can see today I have one for 4:30 p.m. and I can see a summary of the service call and the location under the number. Once I'm on site, I can drill into the service call, see the ticket details, and you'll see there's an option here to take a photo. So while I'm on site, I can take a picture of the equipment. I can add a name here and link it to the service call. So like I said, now that I'm on site, I can see the remarks here include to clear a print spool and reset the print server. And there's also an option here for service history, and I'll show you an example of that shortly. So that's going to give me information onto any linked service calls for this item. So once I've had a chance to service the machine and I'm ready to close the call, you'll see the option on the top right for next. Here I can apply any relevant sales orders that are needed. And if I select next here again, I can see a ticket summary and review it with the client. So here I can see the start time, the end time, the machine information, and also the resolution at the bottom. Once we're ready to close, the client can put their signature here. You can select done. It'll ask if you want to continue. You can select yes, and it'll close the service call. Then I can go back to my home screen here, and I'm going to take a look at my KPIs. So what's this going to give me an overview of? These are predefined KPIs out of SAP. And at the top right, it's going to show me, once this loads, my monthly closed service calls. So here I can see this month I'm down 3%. So this may be an area that I want to focus on. But this is going to give me quick access to statistics that are being pulled out of SAP. So I can also see here my top 5 fixed items or my top 5 customers.
And this is the area where SAP can be customized. KPIs with the HANA platform can be fully customized. You can determine what KPIs are going to be shown here to the users and things of that nature.
Exactly. So I'm going to go back over the tickets because I'm going to show you guys an example of what the service call history can look like. So here, if we go into the service call here, you'll see it's grayed out because it's already closed. And on the right here, you'll select that service history option. So this is going to show me, like I mentioned before, any linked service calls for this specific item. So I can see here that this device has a history of computer display problems and not starting. So this is a quick way for technicians to see that machine history. So now that we've taken a look at the service app, we can flip over to the sales application here. So once I'm logged in, it's also going to take me to the home screen. And at the top, you're going to see different documents that you have access to. So you can see that I can have access to activities, opportunities, sales quotes, sales orders. And at the bottom here, it's going to show me my activities from SAP. And you can also drill into the activity information as well. So I'm a sales employee and I have a new lead that I want to create an opportunity for. If I drill into the opportunities here, you'll see at the top right, there's a plus button here where you can add that new sales opportunity. While I'm in here though, I actually want to reference some of my won opportunities. I can drill in here to get that sales opportunity detail. So I can see the business partner, the contact person. I can drill in here and it'll take me to that business partner record. But I can go through the sales opportunity here, and at the bottom, if I drill into all stages, it's going to show me a percentage breakdown of that one opportunity by each stage, and I can also drill in here to get more information for that specific stage. Now, if we go back to the home screen here, you'll see I have access to my customers and items. So I'm going to take a look at the items here. And you can see it's going to bring up a list of items from SAP with a picture if there's one included from the item master. And if I drill in here to this first item, I can see the general item information, and I can also see the in-stock quantity and the unit price. Now, if I go back to the home screen here and I can select the menu button, just like on the service application, the sales is going to include some KPIs. So once these load here, I'm going to see my monthly sales information and my top 5 customers. And as Oren mentioned, these are customizable. So here I can see what also my best selling item. So I might want to use this information for my new lead. So now that we've had a chance to take a look at the B1 Sales and Service app, we can hop over to the Business One application.
Yeah, and this is where we're going to spend majority of our time, because the Business One application is the first application that was there for SAP Business One. It's available for all clients, SQL or HANA. So this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time today, reviewing the functionality and the capabilities of this application. It's also cover both of the quick demo we saw on the other applications. So with that being said, Sarah, please proceed.
Okay, so now that I am logged in, by default, it's going to bring you into your home screen. You'll see options for the modules, and we'll get into more details of those options later. First, we're going to take a look at our preferences. So in the Business One application, there aren't too many areas that you can customize, but the preferences will allow you to customize your user experience. So at the top here, I'm going to select home, and here's where I can set my default page. I have it set to my to-do list. You can see here I can also set my KPIs as my default when I log in. Below here, below the home option, you'll see a list of modules. So this is where I can select what user-defined fields I want to turn active or inactive.
Yeah, so this is exactly part of the customization or the configuration you can do, define which modules are going to be available. Of course, modules that the user is not authorized to automatically are not going to be available for the user. But even with the menus that you authorize for, you can define what user-defined fields are going to be presented. And generally, you can define what menus are going to be presented in the mobile.
Exactly. So if you drill in here, you'll see it's green, so it's going to show my user-defined fields, and you can select here, and it will turn those options off. Now that we've had a chance to set our preferences, we're going to go back to the home screen. So you'll see here, I have my to-do list set as the default, so that's what's going to be brought up here. And these are actually my activities out of SAP. You'll see here on the right, there's a plus button, so you can actually add activities from here as well and drill in and get more activity details. See here I can see I have a meeting with Daniel Brown from Parameter Technology. Now if I swipe over to the right here, here are those KPIs. So just out of the box, I can see my sales orders, incoming payments, outgoing payments, and cash on hand. And like Oren mentioned, these can also be customized. Now, the main area of operations is going to be the module. So this is where users are going to spend a bulk of their time. You'll see on the top right here, there's this gear button. That's going to let you select edit, and you can choose what modules you want visible on the application. You'll also see in the settings, I can log off from here, and I can also select help, which will take me directly to the SAP help documentation. So for the modules here, we're going to start with the activities. Now the activities, approvals, and alerts are some of the unique areas of this application. So if I drill into my activities here, I can see my upcoming appointments today in a calendar format. So I can see I have a meeting at noon and another meeting at 1:30. If I select this share button on the top right, if I'm on a different day on my calendar and I select today, it'll bring me back to today's activities. I can add a new activity, and I can also sync these directly to my calendar on my phone. The next module we're going to cover are the approvals. So I can see here I have 10 new approvals waiting for me. Now I'm traveling and I don't want to be a bottleneck in the approval process, so I'm going to go ahead and approve these documents from my phone. So I can see here I have a request for a sales quotation. I'm going to drill in and get more of the approval details. So I can see here it's for Earthshaker. I can see the document total and the specific line details below. Now that I know I want to approve the document, I'm going to select approve here, put the remarks in for yes, and go ahead and approve. We're not able to since we're in the demo system, but once that document is either approved or rejected, it'll kick back that alert to SAP and let the user know that their document has been approved.
Sarah, we have a question from someone, I don't know if you know them, Robert Markley. He is asking, are the KPI presented the default KPIs?
They're by default from the ones in SAP, but I mean, we saw that you can set them as the default homepage.
So Robert, I'm not sure if we answered your question, but once you defined or customize your KPIs and define them as a default for the user, they will be presented in the app as well.
Yep. So yeah, next we're going to take a look at the alerts. So I can see here I have 19 new alerts awaiting, and these are going to work like how they do in SAP. So they're going to be based off of a query. So this is going to give you another area that you can create some customizations for the users. So here I can see I have a deviation from discount. I can drill in here and get some more information on the criteria for that alert. Now, if we navigate back to the modules, a really important area of the application are your master data. So just like on the desktop of SAP, you have access to your business partner master data, your inventory data, and your price list. So I'm going to navigate to the business partner information because I want to see a contact from one of my specific business partners. You'll see at the top there's a plus button here, so you can add a business partner from your device as well. You also have the options to see lead customers and vendors, but I'm going to drill into parameter technology. Here it's going to give me the general information, so I can see their main office number, their email, their website. If I go over to the address and contacts here, here's the contact information I need. So I can drill into the main contact here, select sync, and it's going to sync it directly to my phone. So that way, instead of having to try to go through an email to find the number or having to call my office to get his number in SAP, I can get it right through here. Now I'm going to take a look at the transaction. So you'll see here a list of documents linked to this business partner. So I can see activities, special prices, opportunities, sales quotes, sales orders, deliveries, and service information. So I'm going to take a look at the sales orders here. It's going to default to my open. And here I can see the order information, and we'll get into more of the order details a little bit later. But you can see here, it's a quick way for me to check out that order information. So now that I've had a chance to talk to that business partner, they let me know that they actually want to place an order for a specific item. So I'm going to go into the inventory list here, and they want to order some of the A00003. So I'm going to drill into that master data. And just at a quick glance, it's going to give me the unit price and the in-stock quantity. So I can actually drill in here and see the inventory breakdown by warehouse. So I can see in the general warehouse, we have some in stock, the West Coast warehouse. And so I know that I can place an order for this customer today and hopefully get it shipped out tomorrow. The last master data we're going to cover are the price lists. So these are going to be the price lists that I have authorization to see in SAP. So you can see here the different list names, and below it'll give you some details on the base price list it's based off of and the factor. So I'm going to take a look at the regular sales price. So it's going to pull in all of the items that are a part of that price list. So here at a quick glance, I can see over to the right for the first item here, that top number 600 and 400. So that's showing me the regular sales price and the unit price. So I can do a quick comparison. If I drill in here, it's going to take me right back to that item master. So it's nice that I don't have to go back to the modules and go to the item master from there. I can go straight from the price list information. The next area we're going to take a look at down here are going to be the transactions. So we covered sales opportunities in the Sales B1 app. So we're going to review the quotations, orders, and deliveries. So if I go into the quotation here, it's going to bring up all of the open quotations. So on the top right, there's that plus button again, so that you can add a sales quote. After drilling into the sales quote, it's going to bring up the general information so I can see who the business partner is. And if I scroll down, I can see the total before discount and the total, as well as some other information. If I drill down to the contents here, it's going to show me the specific items on that sales order. And if I actually drill in here, it'll give me that line details. So it's an easy way for me to see all the information on the sales order. Also available are going to be your logistics information and the accounting. Now, if I click the share button on the top right, I'm going to have the option to either edit the quote, cancel, copy to an order, or preview the layout. Now, if you select copy to order here, it's going to do just like it does on the desktop. So it's taking all the information from the quote and pulling it over to the order. So once it's done loading, I can review the sales order. And once you're ready to add, you can go ahead and select save on the top right. Next, we're going to navigate here to the sales orders. So here, if the user has permission, they'll be able to add orders from the application. I can drill in here and check out the different order information again. And now if I select the share button, you'll see that the options are a little different. So here I can only edit or cancel the order, or I can preview the layout. So what that's going to do is it's going to talk to SAP and pull in that Krista report and populate it with the order information. And then from there, I can save it to my phone, send it as an email. So if I need to send it to my manager because he wants to see a copy, I can easily do that from here. So now I can see that sales order information. I can zoom in if I need to get easier view. I can go ahead and select send here, and I'm actually going to send out an email and send it over to myself. So you can see here, it's a quick way to send out documents right from your phone. The last area for transactions we'll cover are the deliveries. So here I have the option for open mine all. I'm going to go over here to see a closed document because one of my customers might want to see a previously closed delivery. So here I can see the delivery information and check the contents. And on the top right here, I still have the option to preview the layout and then send it out. The last area we're going to cover here are the report and dashboards. So these are two unique areas of the Business One app. They both allow some room for customization. If we go into the reports here, you'll see a list of out-of-the-box reports from SAP. Right now, this is based off of a HANA database, so the out-of-the-box reports for SQL can differ. So this gives you the availability to customize based on Krista reports that you have on the system. So it's an easy way for you to maybe set up an end of day report or a monthly report for your users. Now I'm going to check out the monthly sales analysis. This is going to give me a monthly percentage breakdown of my sales per customer and give me some more detailed information below.
So the reports that Sarah is showing is really critical because you've seen only 4 reports available, but because of the strength of Crystal reports, any Crystal reports that you're doing within SAP, you could check it as available for mobile, and then those Crystal reports will be available for users. So this is a really key tool to enable your users or your executives to be able to consume reports on the fly in the way you want them to see them.
Exactly. So I can easily tell here that Aquint Systems had the most sales this month, and I can scroll down here and get a breakdown per customer. Another great report here we have is this service called Backlog. This is a great way for service managers to check this data on the go.
And Sarah, can you share those reports via email or anything of that nature?
Yes, you can. So just like we saw with the other Crystal reports, I have the option here to select send, select an email, and once again, you can send it to a specific service technician, your manager, and whoever would need that data. The next area are going to be the dashboards. So just like the reports, they can be customized. These are just a little more difficult than the standard Crystal reports.
Yeah, and this is where in the main app there is a difference between the HANA and the SQL. The HANA comes like you see with many different dashboards. The SQL version comes with only 4 or 5 different dashboards. And with the HANA application, you could customize as many dashboards, custom dashboards as you wish to. So it's more flexible in that regards.
Exactly. So we'll take a look at the top 5 business partners by sales here. And just like we saw with the other reports, you can send these out. So once I've had a chance to look at the data here, I can select send, and it's actually going to give me an option to draw. So you can add little notes in here as you see fit. You can go ahead and select send, and you can send it out as an email, just like we saw previously. So now that we've had a chance to take a look at the Business One applications, we'll do a quick summary of what we covered.
Any questions as related to functionality? Anyone? Okay, so just to summarize what we've seen here on the generic app, okay? We started with the preferences, what allow you to select which UDFs or which data you want different users to be able to see. We moved into the home screen which shows you some KPIs and things of that nature. From there, we went into the activities, approval, and alerts, how those are interactive with the applications. Then we went into master data. What's available in the main app is customer master data, inventory, and price lists. The inventory can show you the breakdown per warehouse, how much you have in stock and what's available. And then we went into the actual transactions. So the transactions include opportunities that we looked at in the previous app, in the sales app. So we really focus on the generic app, on quotes, on orders, and deliveries functionality. Then we went into the reporting and dashboards. This is very highly customizable because it allows you to present any crystal reports in the application. So before we go in there, Sarah, can you go to the previous slide? Because I think we have a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure.
We have a question from Christina. How the report customized? The reports are customized through Crystal reports. So you could edit them in Crystal reports with your SAP Business One, or you can create new Crystal reports. And in SAP Business One, in the layout manager, you have a checkbox that could have it presented to mobile. Hope it answered your question.
Yes.
We have another question. How is the licensing handled in SAP Business One Mobile? So that's lead us exactly to the next slide. So first, all those three apps are available for you to download and to play with. You can download them within 20, 30 seconds and play in the demo environment. So before you engage or think even of deploying that, I would highly recommend to play in the app, see if it's going to be a fit for you. There are some limitations that, it's not a highly customized application. So the ability to modify it is what we discussed. So make sure it's going to be a fit for you. For example, some of the things we cannot do in the app is the idea of formatted search. So different rules that we apply in the user interface in Business One cannot necessarily be applied into the mobile app. So that's a key component that may enable you or not to use the app. We have some clients that really use the app just for approvals or just to log activities and things of that nature. So I would highly recommend to play around and to see what would be a fit for you. You could just download that from the Google Play or the Apple Store and start play with that. What does it take to put it in place? So Sarah went through fairly quickly about the installation. We need to install B1 app and to do some configuration of that. We don't estimate the whole 9 yards will take more than a day of work, unless if you need some training, special authorizations, customer documentations, and maybe additional security features like VPN third party. So if you have those elements, the estimate may be a little bit higher, but it's a self-explained app, very easy, and some of our clients do not even require any training. Licensing, which was a question. So the SAP Business One app, the generic app, is free with existing SAP license. So if you have users already using SAP Business One, you don't need to license that app just to enable the app and have the B1I enabled. And then they will just be able to use the app using their regular user and password. For new users, they will need either limited or pro license in order to access the app. The other sub app, the service and the sales app, again, right now available only for HANA, but it's on the roadmap of SAP in version 10.0 to be available also for SQL. For those, you will need to license them, but they have a very lower price in compared to a regular user. If you're on-prem, if you buy a license, it's going to be $536 plus the maintenance. And for the on-demand for cloud clients, it's going to be anywhere between 18 to 22 per user per month. Depends on, if you're hosted by SAP or hosted by a partner. And the price is per app. So the license for the two sub apps is really for apps. So if you license one user, it's going to be either for the service or for the app or for the sales service. We have a question. Sarah, please hold.
Sure.
We have another question for you, actually. Mobile app permit to run offline?
So the Business One application will need to be connected to the internet. The service application will actually give you the availability to edit tickets offline through the settings, and then you can actually go from there and review the tickets that you edited offline in the settings and upload them to the app. So that application allows you to run offline.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. Do you want to show that maybe in the mobile real quickly?
Yeah, of course. So here, if you go into the settings, you'll see here there's an option for offline settings. So if you need to, you can download the data from the app, or you can go here under tickets edited offline. So if you're offline, you make a change or you close a ticket, they'll be listed here. You can select which ones you want to, and on the top right, you'll be able to upload them.
And Sarah, this is available only on the service and sales app or also in the generic app?
I know it's available on the B1 Service app. It's not available on the Business One applications. And for the sales app, I'll have to just to check to validate that it can be taken care of offline.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions before we proceed? All right, so let's proceed. Next slide is our documentation.
Yes, so you'll see here the first one will be the mobile blog post. So once that's created, we'll have that online. You'll see below the documentation is broken up by each application, and for the Android and iOS devices, there's going to be different documentation for those. So you'll see there's some for the Business One application, the sales, and the service. So I'll show you a quick example here.
And each one of those have all the documentation you need, how to do the installation, how to use it, functionality and things of that nature, like Sarah is just bringing up to this screen.
Exactly. So down here in the content, you'll see at the beginning, there's some more technical information, which is great to have. And then down here for this document, like starting at page 21, you'll see there's information on how to manage your modules using the search functionality, adding new activities, working with the approvals. So this is a great resource for end users, especially if they've had training to, reference afterwards or just getting at the implementation. And each of these documents is going to be structured like that. So there is the technical information and also the end user information as well. We also have a link here to our tips and tricks page, so feel free to check that out. There's a lot of great information and documentation on there. And lastly, Google. So even if you just search the B1 Service app or Business One applications, you're going to see a ton of SAP forums with a lot of great useful information on how to use the functionality.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. Can the B1 app create a sales order, or is it just a function of specific to the sales app?
So on the B1 app, you can add the sales order, and I can hop over to that and show you that really quickly.
Yes, so like all the sales app as well as the generic app basically will allow you to create sales orders on the fly.
Exactly, and these are going to be tied to the user's authorization. So in SAP, if they have access to create sales orders, they'd go in here and they'd see that plus button at the right, and then they can create it from there.
Excellent. All right, so let's go through the summary of what we have done today, as we expect more questions coming, and feel free to put them in the chat. What we went through today is business and mobility and why it's important those days to be connected also through easy-to-use app on the go for executives, as well as potentially for some employees that are working on the field or remote. We looked at the different Business One mobility options, the three apps, the one generic app and the sales and the service apps. We went really quickly through the installation because that we realized it's not all our audience are technical, and that's something that we normally do for clients. Application functionality, this is where we spend most of the time today to see what it can do, what it cannot do, look at customizations or how we can enhance the experience with the ability to control what UDFs are going to be shown, with the ability to set up different alerts or approvals, and with the ability to have available on the app different reports or customized reports. The application is available for everybody to download and play with a demo. It is available with no charge for existing users. And we went through the documentation available. And again, like we shared, this video is recorded, and we're going to share it, this and a blog post within the next week or so.
So any more questions?
Any questions? Okay, great. So we'll wait maybe 30 more seconds to see if there are additional questions. But if there are no, we want to thank everybody. We have this webinar once a month, and we are happy to get feedback from you on what interests you. We wish everybody a safe and good weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll go through this corona crisis soon. Thank you, everybody, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We have one more question, actually, Sarah.
Yes,
Sometimes normal certificate generated from B1I does not work. Which are good third party to install certificates?
I know that, like I've mentioned before, GoDaddy is a great vendor that you can work with. Oren, I'm not sure if you have any other suggestions.
I
Different
mean,
vendors.
there are different types. You can have B1I generated for you. If from whatever reason it doesn't work, we can always submit a ticket with SAP to see why it does not work. Third party certificate, yeah, GoDaddy is the famous one or the biggest one. Could also generate it from there.
Great. All right, yeah, I don't see any other questions, but please reach out if you have any. We'd be happy to give you any information that you need.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a good
everyone.
rest of your Friday and have a good weekend.